everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel and my farmhouse wedding series. Alright everyone, so this week it is project number 6 and I'm going to show you how to make this cute little potted name card. Alright, so let me tell you what the supplies are going to be. I'm going to start off by showing you this black sheet of paper here. It is from the scrapbooking section at Hobby Lobby. You can use any sheet that you want to use. I want to create a chalkboard effect. What I really wanted was a contact paper. It comes in a roll, obviously, but it is a chalkboard paper, and I really wanted that. I couldn't find it, so I went ahead and I opted for this, just to show you that if you don't find what you're looking for, you can look for separate items. So I've got a sheet of this, and it depends on how many place cards you're going to make, and then you can decide how many of these you're going to need. I'm going to leave this on here because my background is white, and I want you to be able to see the items that I'm using. Also, this is my little marble board from my kitchen because I'm working on my kitchen right now, so I have it in here. So this is not a new tabletop. I wish it was. Okay, so for my little bucket name place card, or whatever you want to call it, I'm using this little tiny little white bucket. This came in a package of 3 from the Dollar Tree. I happen to have this one left over, so I thought I'm going to go ahead and use this, but of course you'll buy as many as you need. It doesn't have to be just for maybe the names. Maybe you can use this to put the names of maybe some sort of desserts if you happen to have a dessert table, or maybe a candy table, or just, you know, maybe just say reserved for a certain family. So anyway, so this is a little bucket that I'm going to use. Inside of it I'm going to use some styrofoam. It could be a little scrap piece of styrofoam, but I'm going to go ahead and use this little styrofoam ball. It happens to fit just fine in there. This is about a 2-inch size ball of styrofoam. The diameter could be 1.5 to 2 inches. Okay, so I've also got some jute or some hemp string, whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to use this nice thin one. I've got that ready here. I'm also going to use this pink sheer ribbon that I've been using in all of my arrangements for my farmhouse series. I'm going to use a little bit of that. I've also got these little plant stakes. I thought these would be cute in this little pot because I want to keep that little farmhouse, kind of a garden feel. So I'm going to use this, and that's what I'm going to use this paper on. This is a pack of 10, and this is from the Dollar Tree. So 10 of them for $1. Super great buy. Make sure you look for things like that. If you don't find this, you could use maybe another a piece of white paper and just put a little popsicle stick and paint it. Put that behind the black, or just use the black on there. Okay, I'm also going to be using some double stick tape because I want to stick the paper onto my little plastic here. And the reason that I'm going to do that is because instead of hot gluing it where it could come through the paper and maybe make some bad look on, you know, it might show through, I'm going to use double stick tape. Not only that, but it also gives me the option that if I've done these ahead of time, and let's say one of my guests you know, decides to cancel, and maybe I've got room for another person, I can just take that off easily and put a new little card with a name on it. Okay, I also found in my supplies this one little dove, a little tiny little dove. You could use any little bird, a little butterfly, whatever you want. This is completely optional, but I found it in my box of little birds, and I thought it was so pretty and nice and small, just for a little added touch on here. And I'm going to use some of this green moss. I prefer that instead of some Spanish moss. I think the green moss would look best. Oh, I'm also going to use this marker. This is a chalk marker that I found at Hobby Lobby. It was a package of 2. I don't recall how much I paid for it. It was probably about $3, and then I got it for 40% off of their coupon. You don't have to use a chalk marker, obviously. If you're using paper, you can use a white paint marker, or just use some chalk. But this gives me a nice fine tip, and I thought this would be perfect if I found the contact paper, which I didn't. Okay, so I'm also going to use some floral wire for this. And here I've got a 26-inch gauge. I don't need very much of that. I've also got my wire cutters, my scissors ready, and my hot glue gun already plugged, and I've got some, you know, the glue sticks ready to go for that. So let's get to crafting. Alright, so the jute that I have here, I'm going to use it to wrap around the handle. If you look back at, I think it was project number 1, where I did a little centerpiece and I used a little pail, I put a thicker jute on the, or hemp rope, I put it on the handle of the pail, and I thought it looked really pretty, so I'm going to use the same idea with this. This is completely optional. You don't have to do this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take off a good amount of it so that I don't have to keep pushing this through because it's so thick. So I'm just going to use a good amount of it, and I'm going to go ahead and just grab whatever I think I'm going to need. Let me see. I'm going to measure this and then I'll tell you. Okay, I really think I have enough with 2 yards, so I'm going to go ahead and cut 2 yards. I may have more than I need, but if I do have more than I need and I have a little bit left over, use that little piece to start up another one of these and then just keep adding string. It's better to be cutting it off than trying to get this going all the way through. So anyway, I'm going to roll this up on one end, just like that. Make myself a little ball. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to put some glue on this end over here. And let's get that end on there and then start rolling around the handle. And ever so often, add in some glue. So I'm just going to roll it around like that. This is why I wanted to make a little bundle, because it's easier to just bring it around than, you know, pulling the string through over and over, just pulling on it. Okay, so I've gotten to this part. I want it nice and tight against each other. I'm going to put another dot of glue here so I can continue rolling this around and it will stick. And we're going to make a little mess with our little bundle here. That's okay. Ever so often, just roll it back up in any way and then start rolling it around. Okay, so I'm going to continue doing that until I've gotten to the other end. When I get to the other end, if I have any left over, I will cut it off and glue the other end down. Okay, so I'll be back once that is done. All right, everyone, I have finished wrapping up the string all along the handle. There you can see that where I've just done that. And I'm going to go ahead and finish it off. Like I said, just a little bit of glue for my last turn. And then I'm going to just cut off the remainder. And then whatever little bit is kind of flopping around there, the little end, put some extra glue for that. And then just push it down with the tip of the glue gun. Okay, so this is what I have left over. So just to give you an idea. All right, so here we're going to measure it. And I've got 18 inches right here. And I've got, that would be half a yard, 18 inches. That's 1, 2. So that's a yard there. And here's another half a yard with just a few inches. So I would say with half a yard or 18 inches of rope, that should be enough to cover a handle such as this. This little bucket, the top portion of it is about 2 1/4, the top, diameter, and the height is about 2.5 inches. So if you're wondering what size this little bucket is. Now, if you do not find these little buckets with a handle, don't worry about it. A little bucket without a handle will work just fine. As a matter of fact, little terracotta pots would be perfect for this project as well. You could paint them white or whatever color you want, or leave them their natural color. Okay, I'm going to use my scissors to just kind of snip at all the little bits of the rope. They're kind of, all over the place. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and put my styrofoam ball in there, and it actually fits pretty good and stable in there. But I'm going to go ahead and put some glue. And I believe this is the whitest part, and I feel like that's the part that's actually going to touch inside of my little pail, or my little bucket. There we go. Push that in there. Get all these webs. Okay. So that's how that gets prepared. Okay, next step. Alright, so my next step would be to put some of this paper on this little rectangle here. So I'm actually going to bring it over to the corner as far as I can, line up the edges, and then I'm just going to mark around it so that I know the size of this particular rectangle, but I want to make it a little bit smaller. So now that I've marked it with my pencil, if you can see that there, I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. I'm going to cut it the size that it is right now. So you can just go ahead and cut a whole bunch of them. If you measure this one, just get a straight edge and then just go all the way across, and then depending on how wide it is, go all the way down and make all your markings. That way you have a whole bunch of them already measured out and cut. So there's my little rectangle piece, and that fits right on there, but I want it to be a little bit smaller because I do want the white to be like a little frame behind it. This white right there. Here, let me put the paper back down on here. I think it makes a world of a difference so you can see this. Okay, so I'm going to take this little rectangle, and I'm actually going to cut it even smaller. So I'm going to cut about a 1/4 inch or so, and so forth. I think that fits really nicely right there. So now I just want to maybe do a little bit of a rounding of my little corners. That's completely up to you if you want to do something like this. If you want to round out the little corners. Okay. Okay, so now I've rounded off my little corner. Now that'll fit just fine right in there. Cut it a little bit nicer than what I've done. So let me bring it up so you can see. There you go. Maybe I cut off a little too much on the sides, but I think that's perfectly fine for now. For my little project, I just want you to get the idea of what to do. I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece of this tape, put it on there, and then I can turn it around and then just stick this on there. Now it's up to you if you want to put it on the other side as well. I'm only going to do it on one side, okay? And now on here I can write down my guest's name, or depending on what I'm using it for. Maybe I want to put on here, maybe I've got an assortment of candies on a table and I want to put on here cherry, because that's a cherry flavored candy. Whatever you want to do. I'm going to put my name. Okay, so that's just an idea, okay? Okay, so now that I've got my little pick here with a name ready, I can go ahead and insert it into my little pail. And I'm going to go ahead and push the little handle backwards. You can have it in the front, however you want. I'm going to push it to the back. And I'm just going to push this in, but I'm going to put a little bit of glue in there so it go ahead and stick while it's going in. And how far you push it in is up to you. That's good. I like that. Okay. Right there. It won't go any further. So that's where I'm going to go ahead and be satisfied and pretend that that's what I wanted anyway. Okay, so there we go. And now I'm going to take some of this moss, and I probably need a little bit more than this little bitty bundle that I grabbed here, and just a couple of little bits of glue here and there. I'm going to go ahead and stick this on there as needed. Okay. So then I can take my scissors and then just kind of tuck in some of those little edges in there into the little edge inside of the bucket. Okay, so I'm going to get some more of this moss. Just like I did the front, I'm going to do back here. So I'll be back with that completed. Okay, so I've covered up the little pot with the moss, and I really like the idea of using a little styrofoam ball in there because it gives it a little bit of a dome and a little lift, like a little hill of grass there for the sign. I like that a lot. Okay, so I'm going to now make a little bow so that I can put on my little decoration here, and I can choose to put it up on here or down here. That's going to be completely up to you. I'm just going to grab this. I'm going to cut the end here at an angle to get a nice start. And just a little bit of length, not too much. And just make, this is, just so that you'll know, the length is about 2.5 inches, okay? And then we're going to make loops. I'm going to make about that big. So that is 4 inches. And then you put it together so it's 2 inches like that, folded, okay? So then we twist, make another loop, twist. And I'm just going to do about 4 loops, 2 on each side, and then cut the end again at an angle. And now I'm going to take some wire and cut a piece of it with my wire cutters. Just a small piece. And then I'm just going to wrap it around and tie up my little bow. And twist the bow to make sure I tighten towards the bow. Now, you can decide that you can use the ends of this wire to use that to tie around here, tie around the little handle, however you want to do it, or you could just trim off the excess wire pieces right here. You can trim those off and then just hot glue it on there or hot glue it down here. Okay, let's see what looks better. I'm going to go ahead and opt for hot gluing it, so I'm going to twirl a little bit of the ends of the wire. See that? To kind of flatten them up, make a little swirly bit there, and then any leftover, I don't want to do too much because I'm lazy. Take that off and then just make sure that little raw edge of the wire is not poking out. Okay, so now I can go ahead and just glue this on here or glue it on the side. Okay, let's see what would look cuter, and then you can decide what you want to do. I'm just going to put it on here just like that. So this would be one look, to have the little bow at the bottom, and I'm going to go ahead and glue it because I think that's what I want, is I'm going to glue it on the little stick here. You could do it like that. So it's your choice of where you want to put the bow. Sorry, I'm grabbing the webs of glue that are coming out of my little arrangement. Okay, let me put this a little bit more further up, and now we're going to put our little dove, our little bird. And again, you could choose to put it on your little bucket. Maybe you want to put them up here on the edge of the sign. It's up to you. I'm going to go ahead and put it in there. If you have two of these little doves for each pail, that would be really cute, but I'm just going to put one because that's all I happen to have. And my little dove's going to be right on the grass here. I think he looks super cute right there. And there you go. All right, everyone. My project is complete. All right, everyone, this is a completed project. As I said, it is project number 6, a potted name. What is it, a name card or I don't know, placeholder, something like that. You can call it whatever you want, but this has been my little project. I'm really happy with it. It's quite simple. It's super easy. You can make a ton of these, use them for people's names, or use it just to identify maybe some foods or some desserts on your tables for any occasion. All right, I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up. I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up, and leave a nice comment down below. Let me know what you think of my little project. Will you be doing something like this? Will you be using a terracotta pot? Let me know what your color choices are. What would you do different? All right, everyone. I want to thank everyone who has been subscribing, and please, if you haven't already done so, hit the subscription button there, and then after that hit the notification bell. That will notify you of when I put up videos, which is every Tuesday and every Friday. Now I'm going to finish off this February with one more project for my farmhouse wedding series, and then starting in March I'll go back to my regular schedule where I do a craft on Tuesdays and a recipe on Fridays. So please hit that notification bell so that you get notified. I'll be making a playlist of my farmhouse series as well, so it'll be a lot easier for you to just look for that and then watch all the videos and just binge watch. All right, if you have any other suggestions on videos you'd like to see, that would be greatly appreciated and very welcome. Everyone, please share on your social medias, and as always, enjoy.